My name is Katie. My name is Katie Burris. That always catches me. Okay. My name is Katie Burris. I'm representing the Leadership Convention Management Committee this evening. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our Florida PTA President, Carolyn Nelson Goder, to offer us some words this evening as we begin.
Thank you, Katie, and thank you to the Leadership Convention Committee, under the direction of Vice President Lawrence Claremont, Leadership Development. So I'm really glad to see everyone here. Your presence means that you're excited about the 2023 convention, as am I. It promises to be a wonderful event full of learning, networking opportunities, and a chance to just have a little fun getting to know other leaders from across the state. If you've never been before, you're in for a treat. If you've been before, you know just how exciting it could be and how energized you will leave the convention feeling. So with that in mind, I want to thank the committee for putting this presentation together so that you can get just as excited as I am about what's in store for you. In addition to Lawrence, who is our Vice President for Leadership Development, I see several other members of our EC, our staff, and our Board of Directors. In no particular order, just what's on my screen. I see Melanie Williams, our Secretary. Karen Mazzola, Vice President for Educational Development.
Good evening.
I see a few of our County Council Presidents, Kay, Kelly. Who am I missing? That's all the County Council Presidents I see right now. And other members of our Board of Directors, Brenna, I'm going to get it right, Brenna. Alvin, I think that's it for the board. And our lone staff member this evening is Kimberly Adamski. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I know that you'll learn a lot and be enthused. Take it away, Katie.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us this evening. We're going to start at the beginning. What is Leadership Convention? If you've never been before, I think we have a lot of repeat attendees in the crowd, but if you've never been before, this annual event offers the opportunity to improve and enhance and continue to broaden your own leadership skills. It offers current training to be a more confident and effective leader, training for new roles, additional workshops to increase your knowledge base, and an opportunity for new board members to build additional relationships. It also offers us the opportunity to hold our own general meeting portion of the event, the convention part, where we conduct the business of the association that's required by our bylaws, the Florida PTA, just as you conduct your general meetings at the county and local unit level as well. You'll have an opportunity to meet Florida PTA leadership and hear a little more about Florida PTA's legislative priority items and policy updates. You'll also have an opportunity to hear from inspiring speakers at throughout convention at different elements of the event itself. I think that's it. We're going to talk about just some of the highlights of the events that happen at Leadership Convention. We do have exhibitors, sponsors, and a resource fair. We're very thankful to our sponsors and exhibitors that join us every year and support our efforts at the convention. We've had many sponsors and exhibitors who give opportunities, offer opportunities for you to hear about their products, educational programs that you can take back to your school community. The exhibitors offer a wide variety of products, nonprofits, authors, fundraising opportunities. So lots of things to kind of take a look at and actually have a hands-on experience. And of course, there's drawings, drawings, and more drawings. You have an opportunity to win a few fun things to take home with you. There are workshops at Leadership Convention. Our workshops, there's a little bit of something for everyone. If you're taking on a new role, new responsibilities, there's key training available for specific roles, like president and treasurer, secretary, different positions on the board. There are also workshops that continue to broaden your PTA knowledge through focus on PTA advocacy efforts, PTA programs and initiatives. There are also personal leadership expanding workshops available for you in communication, organization. And we do have workshops specifically geared toward the student members that come to Leadership Convention. It's really a great opportunity for them to get some additional information that's geared just toward them. There are additional presentations in workshops by the keynote speakers that attend and representatives from National PTA. So attendees do get to hear information from Florida PTA leaders, in addition to National PTA leaders and other speakers who are experts in their field. There are lots of resources for you. Most of the presenters at the workshops will have resources available to you that you'll be able to continue to access after Leadership Convention. And many also leave their contact information with you. So going forward, you always have that resource to draw on. And watch for our call for workshops. I'm going to let Lawrence expand on this a little bit.
All right. So we know that you can't have a leadership convention if there's no training. And all of our training is done through our workshops. And as Katie had mentioned earlier, there's a variety of different topics. And as you can see on the screen, there's a lot of key areas that, relate to PTA. But there's also many, many more areas that relate to the work that we do. And so we are doing a call for workshop presenters. We know that within our PTA leadership and our volunteers, there are many talented nations, for other organizations or for their school district. And so we would love for you to submit, a workshop for a workshop, so that for consideration. And workshops usually are between 45 minutes to an hour. And as you can see for the requirements, we just want a brief description of what it is, as long with your a bio and a headshot. And you might be asking or saying to yourself, hey, I don't have a headshot. Well, it is the holiday season. JCPenney's got some great coupons available to get a discount on a headshot. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, they do great work. And so I would say take advantage of that while it's on the cheap. But we would love to see workshop presentations come from, our PTA leaders.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Did I pass it?
We also have a Florida PTA showcase, and we do combine several different things under the umbrella of the showcase. We're going to offer a resource fair that highlights free resources and programs available for you to consider taking back to your school community. We also have the PTA advocacy wall that you can take a look at and retrace the steps of Florida PTA through the years in advocacy. You'll be able to see our Florida PTA Reflections Program winners, those who have advanced to the national level in this national PTA program. We'll have submissions representing those student artists who have been submitted from across the state, from local units across the state, who have advanced from local to county to state level. We'll also have information about the Florida PTA Student Scholarship Program. You can browse the baskets that have been donated and support that student scholarship program. That is, this is our opportunity to garner support for this program at this event. We are really proud of the scholarships that we're able to offer every year. And this is our opportunity to begin supporting the program for next year by supporting the basket donation, the basket raffle at the Florida PTA Showcase. You'll be able to purchase ribbons that you can add to your name tag. That's always a fun thing to do. But in purchasing those additional ribbons for your name tag, you do get to support different PTA programs and initiatives while you're doing that. You'll learn more about the efforts of Florida PTA statewide and the resources in the state office. There will be representatives from the state office at Florida PTA Convention with us.
All right, general meetings. So although Leadership Convention is very, very fun, there's also business that we have to conduct on behalf of the association. Now, the general meetings are held each day during Leadership Convention at different times during the day. And during those general meetings, it can include, the board of directors report, keynote addresses, special recognitions, and some other things that are there for the general membership. You'll also hear, legislative priority action items, policy updates, resolutions, and things that can be brought forward for debate. Now, when we start looking at, let's say, like bylaws, resolutions, I will say that debate can get lively. It can also get very passionate, but we are a diverse body with varying, let's say, viewpoints and opinions. And it's always good to listen to all sides so that the best decision can be made for the association when you take your vote. And we also encourage you during general session to sit with your county and also network with the other PTAs in your area. But the most important thing that happens at our general meetings is that you, as a delegate, have the ability to vote on what happens within the association. So the general meetings are very, very important. And we ask that people attend those general meeting sessions. We also have special events that occur at the Leadership Convention, and these are what we call our ticketed events. At our awards and recognition ceremony, we recognize the great work that many PTAs around the state have done. We also recognize the work that is done in the area of the diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice event. And we also, as Katie had mentioned, do the Florida PTA Scholarship event. And for some people that have been through Leadership Convention for a number of years, it as Florida as PTA's Got Talent. The name may change this year, but the concept and what we do is have fun and raise money for our students. So I would say these are ticketed events. There is a cost that is associated with it. And that information will come out when we send out the call for registration. Now, the tickets are available at the time of registration, or they can be added later. And so if you haven't made a decision as to everyone that's going to go, or people decide to go after you've submitted your registration, you can still purchase the tickets for that. But they must be purchased before Leadership Convention. So be mindful of the deadlines, because the tickets will not be sold at the event. Now we also have like our regions and county caucuses. This is the opportunity for you to meet with the other PTA leaders within your area. We can say that I know for Pinellas, we're in Pinellas County. It is a long county, and you might not see your other PTA leaders for the entire school year. And so the county caucuses give you the opportunity, and the regions and county caucuses give you the opportunity to meet with and gather and network with the other PTA leaders. And you might be surprised at how many people are involved in PTA in your area that you did not know about. Now, the other thing that happens is the county council gatherings, and this is the opportunity to socialize with your other PTA leaders. Now, we had some great pictures to show y'all, but it's my understanding that what happens at the county council gathering stays at the county council gatherings. So if you want to see and experience what happens there, you're gonna have to register and participate in Leadership Convention. And I guess with that, I'll say, ain't no party like a PTA party. Now, we also have a number of volunteer opportunities that will be available. And we know that a lot of our folks like to volunteer, which is basically what we do at the end of the day. So if you wanted to help out at Leadership Convention, please watch out for information for our volunteer opportunities. And the messaging will also come from our volunteer coordinator. We will ask that you share your availability once you're certain of registration and the general schedule. And you can also contact your county or your region leaders or our Leadership Convention Management Committee members to ask about the different roles and responsibilities. But I'd say the quickest way for you to get a response is to contact Tony Nelson. She leads all things at our Leadership Convention, and her email is leadership.convention@floridapta.org. And for our volunteers, even though sometimes we may say volunteering can be like work, it is our intention to make everything that you do each day a fun activity. Katie?
Okay, speaking of some fun, we have an event app, and I'm going to try to also have some virtual games on the apps as well. The event app is really handy and convenient. It'll contain information about the event, the schedule of the event, and locations for different activities, an online program. It'll also contain your workshop resources, evaluations for the workshops, and that sort of thing on the event app. The additional apps will have the gaming apps, will challenge your PTA knowledge, always offer a little bit of competition, which is going on right now here behind the scenes. But everybody enjoys a little bit of competition, but we'll have some activities that will be fun in addition to offering some opportunities to network with other people. So budgeting for Leadership Convention. It is in the best interest of PTA that you set aside funds to pay for attending training and adding this expense item in your expense line item in your budget for training. It invests in your PTA, it invests in the longevity and the strength of your PTA, it invests in the confidence of your leaders. So continuing the ongoing impact of your PTA and your community is strengthened by attending training. So although it's not always the first focus of your budget, it is an important line item to include. Some of the expenses for PTA convention will fall in this year's budget, as the registration expenses and lodging expenses do come in the spring of the year. And some of the expenses will fall in your interim budget, excuse me, after July 1st and during convention. So you have an opportunity coming up here to review your budget mid-year and make some changes as needed so that you can have those expenses set aside for training and Leadership Convention. You can review your policies and procedures and your standing rules when you're thinking about budgeting for convention. And if you have any questions, if you need any leadership guidance, always, consider reaching out to your county council and other leaders to help you answer questions, give you any guidance on your budget going forward for Leadership Convention. How much to budget? These are just some estimates for you. The specifics, our budgets are always working documents. So these are some estimates to consider. Registration per member, $125. Students, consider $25 per student registrant. We want to really encourage our students to attend. So we try not to make that the financial aspect of it a barrier. Consider $200 a night for lodging, and that would be for 2 to 4 members sharing a room perhaps. And the estimations then for your interim budget would include other expenses like mileage and maybe food during each day for each member attending. Speaking of budget and financial items to consider, you always want to be mindful, bring a credit card for checking in and to pay your charges when you check out. You'll also want to be sure and bring your current PTA tax exempt certificate with you. Couple of things to consider in making your registration to attend PTA convention. I forgot to say in the last slide, you may not know who's attending. Many units have elections in between registering and actually attending, but you can still register for the number of people who might want to attend registration. The office, Florida PTA State Office, can help if we need to transfer that registration for one member to another in that unit. But you can still go ahead and register anticipating how many might attend. These are some opportunities to consider to help you with finances, help your unit with finances for in support of attendance at Leadership Convention. You can search for your own sponsor to help with expenses, specifically registration or any other expenses. You can seek grants. Many county councils do offer grants for financial support and attendance. Some local PTA units may assist others. I know there are many counties where there's a healthy established PTA that is willing to offer a registration payment for a new PTA and support those other PTA units. You can share lodging with another local unit. If there are only one or two people from your unit, you can share with another unit. Your county council can help make those connections. You can consider carpooling. Many units that are in the local area consider staying locally and drive together daily to save expenses on lodging, something to think about, or adding any personal funds in order to attend. You do want to watch for deadlines as far as registration goes. Sometimes there are earlier deadlines, later deadlines, so make sure you watch for that information when you're registering for Leadership Convention. The other thing to keep an eye out for is the lodging information often comes out prior to the registration information. So you might want to be prepared to act on lodging before registration, just to have the lodging locked down if that's something that your unit is going to need. Some certain rooms do sell out quickly. As far as Carolyn, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Yes, Katie. Everyone should know, as Katie said, that the lodging registration will open prior to registering for the event, and there is not a credit card required when you make your reservation. So as soon as the opportunity arises, make your reservation. It's a large hotel, but we won't be the only people there. So register for your room as soon as you can. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you. Just a little extra encouragement there, everybody. So I'm going to turn it over to Lawrence here.
All right, so you may be asking yourself, who can attend Leadership Convention? And the answer to that is everybody. And I mean everybody, because there is something there that is going to speak to every individual that is passionate about the children and families here in our state. Now, most PTAs plan, for 2 to 4 members to attend. I'm going to say that is a guideline. The more, the merrier. And what you'll find is that the more people you bring, the stronger your board is going to be, because of the training that they will receive and the information and the knowledge that each of you will bring back to your school community. But we did put some suggestions for you. And at the minimum, your PTA president should attend, because they're the leader of your organization. And so they need to know, what's going on within the association. You have the president and the treasurer, your president, treasurer, membership chair, and or any combination of what you see there, because for all of the positions that are listed, there are training classes that are there for them specifically, but also a lot of other leadership development training, as well as training on educational, issues. Now, I'm going to say, don't limit yourself to just the folks that are in your PTA. There's valuable training for your principal. Oftentimes, they don't really know what we do. They're only confined to what happens at the school. And their eyes are wide open when they come to Leadership Convention, because they do not realize everything that you do as a PTA volunteer and the many different things that you are involved in. I would also say, invite your school board members as well as your superintendent, because they need to know what you are doing as a PTA. But more importantly, we are a premier family engagement and advocacy organization. And there's a lot that PTA does to encourage that within their school district. And they should know, a lot of this information to, one, help support you, but also why you are supporting them. I would also ask you to think outside the box and maybe ask your elected officials, like at the county level, your mayor or your city commissioner, county commissioner, all have a stake in the education of our children, as well as your state senators and your House of Representatives. And so don't limit it to just, the people that are on your PTA or who are members. Our leadership convention is for everybody. And if you've attended before, you know exactly what I'm saying based on a number of workshops that are available each and every day. Now, with respect to registration, as you've heard Katie and Carolyn say, register early. Registration opens in the spring. When the communication goes out, there'll be specific information about the cost for registration, in addition to reservations and ticket costs for the special ticketed events. We encourage you to watch for deadlines for early bird registration savings, and you'll see what I mean by savings when that email comes out, and also for regular registration. And please don't forget our students. Please encourage, if you are a PTSA middle and high school level, encourage our students to attend, because this is a great opportunity to develop them as leaders and also to light that fire, continue to keep it lit, for the passion that they have for the work that they're doing and volunteering for your PTA. Now, as Carolyn mentioned, lodging information will open before registration, but be prepared to book your room early before the type of room that you want sells out. And so again, we're going to send that communication out in many different ways. It can be posted on our social media, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know if we have TikTok yet, but maybe. Also through the newsletter, as well as through a specific email, that you will receive. Now, I will say that if you do not know if you are on our email, add link, I guess, to receive emails. If you have not received a newsletter, please reach out to the state office to have yourself added to that list to ensure that you receive communication. And then if you have any questions, about the information, it can also be, accessed on the Florida PTA website. I would say go to floridapta.org/leadership convention, and we'll be putting updates there as well, as we get closer to the event. We encourage you to stay, at the Omni Champions Gate. It is the host hotel for our event. One of the things that I want you to consider is, as volunteers, we put in a lot of hours, and it often takes us away, from our family as well as from our friends. And this is a way to pay it back to the family, especially your children, if you're like me and you drag them to every PTA event, where you can also come for training, come to learn, but also make it a family event or a mini family vacation, because there's a lot of things to do at the Champions Gate itself, the hotel, but there's also a lot of things to do in Orlando. And there's even a shuttle that goes from the hotel to the many different, theme parks that Orlando has. And so, as you can see, there's a pool, there's golfing, the spa, if you're into that, but there's a lot of different things that you can do at the hotel and also in the surrounding areas. So again, the reservations for lodging, is separate from the registration of the event, and the information for both will become available soon. And we're going to pause here. This is just the collage of pictures from last year's leadership convention. So we kind of want you to see the look and the feel of things that's happening. It is not a boring event. You're probably, like most vacations, after you come from leadership convention, you're probably going to need another 2 days or so to recover because of everything that's going on. But we wanted to pause and take a moment to see if there were any questions that any of you may have. Is there anything in the chat?
Just Karen, Alvin, and I talking about a basket competition. Who's joining that basket competition?
Okay. All right, so seeing none. Yeah, I see there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is.
So since there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and move to the next slide. So it's all yours, Katie.
Well, I just want to say thank you again for joining us tonight. If you have any questions later after giving some thought to the information that we've shared this evening, don't hesitate to reach out. Happy to answer any questions. I think this presentation is going to be added to the Florida PTA website with the other Road to Success presentations. So you can revisit the presentation, share the information with your board, and don't hesitate to reach out, like I said. But we look forward to you joining us at Leadership Convention this summer. This is our official save the date notice right here, July 13th through the 16th at the Omni Resort at Champions Gate. We certainly appreciate a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes already in preparation for your attendance. And thanks especially to Leadership Convention Committee members who are listed here. Not all are on the call this evening, but you will learn who they are in attending Leadership Convention. Thanks. Carolyn, do you want to offer any closing comments?
Yes, I want to share with you, thank you again for being on this call, and a few save the dates. The first thing coming up for us in the new year, in addition to these wonderful Road to Success workshops that take place every Wednesday and have a varying number of topics, hopefully that will engage you. We have our Florida PTA Legislative Conference, March 26th through 28th in Tallahassee. That will be open to everyone. We've not had a all open legislative conference for a couple of years because of COVID, but we're ready to get you back and engaged in the legislative process. So please do make sure this too is in your budget. Additionally, if you didn't know, Florida PTA turns 100 years old next year, actually on April 14th, the day after my birthday. But we are celebrating on April 15th, Saturday, April 15th, with the luncheon, with entertainment and just a chance to learn a bit of history about Florida PTA. We have people who are diligently working to be able to share with you who we are, where we came from, and where we're going. That will be in the Orlando area, Saturday, April 15th. Ticket sales will open soon. Lastly, it's been a couple of years since we were also face-to-face and had an opportunity to celebrate our children and their award-winning reflections entries. We know that Florida PTA always puts out superstars who get recognized at the national level, but this is our chance to recognize them here at home. Soon, you'll be receiving information how you can participate in this face-to-face, live and in-person reflection celebration on May 6th, somewhere in the Orlando area. For those of you who may be from South Florida, keep a heads up. The end of the month in January, we'll be hosting a town hall in the Homestead area. We hope that you'll be able to join us for this important conversation about topics in the education arena that affect your community. If you're in the West Tampa area, we're coming to you in early April. Also hosting a town hall, again, so that it is centered on the local area. We're inviting people who will be in the West Tampa, who live in the West Tampa area, to join us at that town hall. So lots of exciting things coming up, lots of ways for you to get engaged in the education process with other leaders, celebrating our children, celebrating Florida PTA, and most importantly, being a part of the legislative process, because that's where it all begins. I hope that you'll join us at any and all of these events, and especially Leadership Convention. How many of you attended last year? Use one of the reactions or emoticons down at the bottom of your screen. How many of you were there? Excellent. I'm glad to see that. One of the things that'll be a little bit different this year, Omni was a different location for us last year. And they squeezed us in at the last moment, because if you've attended Leadership Convention before, you know that we were at Innisbrook for 34 years. And we kind of felt like we owned Innisbrook, and we kind of did for the weekend. But we went to a new location last year. I keep saying last year because it feels like a year ago. But during 2022, in 2023 and 24, and perhaps moving into 25 as well, we actually have our own building at the Omni. It is their conference center, which is just a walkway away from the main building, from the doors where we actually had our general meetings. And we will be self-contained for the most part in that one building. It is beautiful. We'll be together, and we hope that we have lots of interesting and new arenas for you to mingle in and to get to know one another while you learn. I can't wait to see you all during one of our many upcoming events. Thanks again for joining us this evening. Back to you, Katie.
I'll just echo our thanks for joining us this evening. I know you are all busy people, and we appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, reach out. We'll be happy to answer your questions, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for the EC members for attending this evening and cheering us on. We look forward to seeing everybody in July at Leadership Convention at the Omni Resort Champions Gate. Thank you.
Mary Reeves, did you have a question? I see your hand is still up. Mary, are you still there?
That was good evening, everyone. Looking forward to the Leadership Convention. This will be I had an emergency last time and I didn't get to enjoy the full, but I'm looking forward to this year and seeing each and every one that will be attending and learning and bringing my PTA for the first time. But no, I had my hand up that when you asked the question, who has been, to the convention. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Madam President. Mary.
Thank you, Madam President.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Night.
Thank you, Krista. You have a wonderful week as well.
Okay, how do I get this out? Is it gone? Okay. Please.